So I want to do a quick follow-up to my Platinum Fields video, addressing a couple things in the comments and something else. The first being that through your workshop, you can actually craft items to restore your durability. It's a pretty simple craft, nothing too expensive, nothing too extravagant. When I used everything of one craft on my legendary tool, I got 20 durability back. So now knowing that there's a cost efficient way of preparing tools, I decided to look in tools a little bit more. Now, because I'm a cheap person, I generally didn't want to buy a relic kit for testing, so instead I looked up online. And this guy did actually upload his findings for a relic tool, but then he also had a comparison between friend runs of using a legendary tool and then also another Reddit post for a purple tool. Well, even when converting the prices to NAE, it's still, the numbers were a bit off and a bit different from what I was getting, so I wasn't really comfortable going with just his numbers comparing them. I mean, yes, there is a lot of variables in gold runs, but I don't know how complete his runs were, and I just don't know all the details. I wasn't there. So I decided to buy one relic kit and just gamble on that and see what happens. And it turned out actually pretty decent. So from there, I did runs with legendary and the relic tool. I should also mention I do have the relic special equipment. So here are the numbers. It actually is a pretty noticeable gain through the rarities, but also I have two relic runs in there too, because one shows when the map favored having mushrooms and one had favored flowers. As you can see, flowers currently are worth a lot more, and thus you're going to get a lot more gold off of those runs. So in gold value, I was getting about 1500 more going from epic to legendary, and then a 1700 going from legendary to relic, given that I'm comparing the numbers on very much flower heavy runs. So as long as the prices of the tools aren't that bad, I really do think that getting a legendary tool is what you should be getting at the bare minimum. You'll probably break even in gold and start making a profit after about 2 runs from just the excess gold that is there from going from an epic to a legendary. And if we're talking going from legendary to relic, I mean, that's probably going to be paid back in about 8 runs. Now, these are all assuming that you get a usable tool in your first one. After that, if you had to craft more, then it's kind of rough. So my understanding of tools is that number, that percentage of that is increased. The ceiling goes up per rarity, and then it's just a random roll within it. On top of that, every time you go up a rarity, you also get 1 extra slot for a stat. Now, something to note is if you look at my relic run here, the absolute big difference and what makes that one so much more valuable is the blues, because that one does have rare material acquisition probability up. So you could try to craft a legendary that does have rare, basic, and super armor on it. But beyond those 3, I've only really seen special item acquisition and also durability reduction. So if you're rolling relic kits, you have pretty good odds of getting a usable tool, I think. And the last thing is that there's a claim that every 10,000 life energy that you're going to get a Platinum Fields ticket. I feel like I have heard that before, and it does kind of make some sense, but I feel like I've spent more than 10,000 lately and not gotten a ticket. Now, given all this information about tools that I felt like I didn't want to wait and sit on, because if you guys are actually running Platinum Field tickets from my video, I want to make sure that you guys know a little bit more about tools and maybe consider upgrading to legendary, or if you're feeling like a baller, relic. So I used up 5k energy yesterday, so I'm going to keep on logging how much I use every day. And I'll say for maybe the next 10 tickets, I will keep on logging this. Unless, you know, I'm 5 tickets deep and it is clearly 10k each time, which then that is what it is. But what I'm going to do is once I get my first ticket, I am going to log that and keep that in the comments of this video. And I'm just going to pin that up top, and I'll just keep on updating that pin until I have enough data that I feel comfortable. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.